I want to bring you up to date on something. Last week, I revealed that my daughter had failed her driving test for the second time.
Yes, and you said that there was a third trip planned earlier in the week, but that did not happen.
Correct. She was supposed to go. So my wife had taken her twice, each time moving all her items around, schedules.
Her calendar?
Her calendar had to be moved. And so the first time when my daughter failed it,
she was brimming with confidence.
She was.
The 15-year-old.
Oh,
I don't need to study. I got this.
Well, and my wife had said, because she sprung it on her, she's like, let's go get your learner's permit. And my daughter said, okay, let's go. Because she got out of school early, unexpectedly. And my wife said, this is the perfect time. I don't have to move anything around. And she said, now you're ready for it, right? Oh, yeah, I got it.
Is this something where a girl of 15 would need to prepare the outfit, the hair, the makeup?
At least the makeup and the hair.
Well, she does that every day, so she was ready.
Okay.
She was ready. I mean, that is a...
She's always camera ready?
She is always...
Stays ready.
That's a good point.
You don't have to get ready when you stay ready.
She stays ready. That's right. She was ready for it. So, and she does her makeup. She's doing her makeup right now. That's what she does. She's really...
How would you grade that?
Oh, A+. Her makeup is always spot on. I asked her one day, where'd you learn how to do that makeup? I figured her mother had taught her. She turned to me with a quizzical self-taught. It's all self-taught. And YouTube, I imagine.
Makeup is more important than it is in high school for a female. I mean, in college, you stop caring for a little while, but in high school, got to have it.
I would imagine, like, girls of my generation, they had magazines and friends.
That's right.
But now you have the internet.
The internet, right, yeah.
It was a random Dave Aiken judge.
Well,
I've seen a few of these college chicks to give up for a little while.
But in high school.
Yeah.
Hey,
We've all seen the sweatpants, hairy armpit
We
face.
know.
Yeah.
experienced it.
Sorry, ladies who are here to learn.
That's from knowing.
Would
I know that.
Would it kill you to walk across the quad with some foundation on?
Old girlfriends come back from class on a Wednesday afternoon.
Good God,
Is that what you wore?
What's going on
Holy
there?
Christ.
My
Look,
God.
I'll allow the messy pony, but
Throw
my
on
goodness.
some lipstick, for God's sake.
Goodness sake. Well, nonetheless,
Nonetheless.
she failed it. She missed, you can only miss 5. She missed her 6th question on number 17, and they told her, get out. An alarm starts buzzing, a spotlight comes down. You're gone.
Fail.
Right. All right, you have to wait 2 weeks. Go back 2 weeks later. This time it was more difficult for my wife. She had a busier schedule.
How would you gauge your daughter's confidence going into test number 2?
Stronger. She said, I've studied. I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I've got it. They go over. My wife says, now you pass this one. I don't have time to bring you back. Your father will have to do it. You pass this one. So she says, I will. They go in. They almost don't make it. They get there, 30 minutes before the place closes, and the DMV lady's like, we can't be in it. Eventually, my wife talks her way in.
Pulled a half Karen.
She did a half Karen. Not a full, just a half Karen. And my daughter missed question number 6 on number 15. So she's, as Dave said yesterday, she's put it in reverse. She's going backwards.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Biggie brought us the news that our good friend and official attorney of this program, Lisa Lanier, has a son who is 15.
Yes.
And went in and passed his on first try, scoring 100%.
Yep. Didn't even, it took 5 minutes. Lisa said, I barely got sat down. So Lisa and I are at odds right now.
What did the DMV inspector say, Biggie?
Ooh, hadn't seen that in a while.
They all gathered around and look at that.
Yeah.
This kid got 100.
His license picture has the DMV lady in it, too.
Yeah.
Pointing at him like,
Thumbs up.
Can you believe this guy?
This guy.
Blowing up Twitter, formerly known as X or whatever it is.
So my daughter, then they said, okay, you have to wait another week. So Monday of this week was the day that was scheduled to go, and my daughter said, give me till Tuesday.
Oh.
So she got an extra 24 hours.
More schedules get moved.
Schedules get moved. My wife said, this is the last time. She said to me, my wife said, this is the last time I'm taking her. Next time, you're going in. That's it. And a P1 listener sent this, and I'll reveal the results here next, but from an old television show called Taxi, which was just a fantastic show. It's an old show, but it really is good. It had such great talent. Danny DeVito is on it, Judd Hirsch, Mary Lou Henner, Tony Danza, and Christopher Lloyd, who's probably most famous for
Directing
Back to the Future.
And Back to the Future.
So he plays Jim Ignatowski, who's a taxi driver who is really
odd.
Yeah,
Different.
and doesn't do a whole lot. He's kind of lazy, and doesn't really get much.
We don't know much about his backstory, but you assume
He's drug laden.
he's consumed a lot of drugs.
laden. So he's taking the test, and the other characters are standing in the corner of the room, and they're basically saying, if you need help, just ask us a question, and we'll try.
So he can get his license.
He's trying to get the taxi driver license, and he's on the first question, and he does have a question for the others.
What does a yellow light mean? Slow down. Okay. What? Yellow light mean? Slow down. Okay. What? Yellow like me. Slow down.
How good is that? I saw that with my father when I was 10 years old. I thought that was the funniest scene.
Pure perfection.
Oh, my God. That was fantastic. And by the way, the person giving him direction, slow down, is Jeff Conaway. May he rest.
Yes.
Former guest on this program.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the long and short of it. My daughter went in yesterday, and we have a new driver in the family.
She passed.
Only missing 3. We're not going to tweet about it. We're not going to be Lisa Lanier and say, oh, look
3,
at me.
okay.
All right, she missed
good.
She got through it. She missed 3. And she said that our listener suggestions of skip the ones you don't know really helped her.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know she could do that. And so she skipped.
It's all on computer now.
Yes. So you can skip and they'll come back or around or whatever.
Do you know the questions that she missed?
She doesn't know the question. No, I did not even ask. I just gave her a big hug.
Yeah, we don't care what she missed.
And I said, let's go
I'm missing
driving.
3. That's solid.
I said, let's go driving. And she's like, no. She's too nervous yesterday. She said, no. So we're going to between now and next August, we have to drive for 50 hours. And it'll be me.
Have to be.
And, yeah,
Seat time.
Seat time.
Nothing, you can't beat it.
10 hours in the dark.
Now, your wife was a little trepidatious about riding with your son.
Yes.
How is she about riding with your daughter?
I'd say it's gone from trepidation to all-out fear. Terror.
Well, then that would be new.
My son passed on the first go-round. Surprise.
Figure that out.
It's the only test he's ever passed. He actually tested on the first. Oh, bless you. Okay, so it's done. We got that.
That's good. That's a good feeling.
Now, the other automobile here in the news, or driver in the news, is a bus driver in Oklahoma, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And when I watch it, I want to defend him. And Biggie says, I think I can. I like this about you, Biggie.
We'll see.
I like it. Now, here's what happened. He's 68 years old. His name's Thomas Young. He's worked for the Broken Arrow School District for over a year as a bus driver. He's retired, but he's come back as a bus driver.
Remember, bus driver shortage nationwide.
That's right. So they hired him, and they say they have not had any incident with him for the entire time he's worked there, which is 14 months. Now, this past week, he picked the children up from school late, whatever event they were at, and he had to deliver them back to school, I believe. It might have been in like an activity bus. So he's delivering them back to school. And he's late by 30 minutes. And I don't know why. I wonder if it was trouble with the bus or I don't know.
Traffic could be anything.
Yes. So he's late. And because he was late, the kids were louder than usual, talking a lot, disrespectful. According to him, they were disrespectful. So at one point, close to where he was supposed to drop them off, he just stopped the bus. And he said, nobody's getting off this bus until everybody is quiet. And we have video of him now from the bus.
Of course, there's a bus.
From
Camera.
Exactly.
Quiet. Everybody be quiet. I'm not moving until I don't hear any speaking.
Now, he sat at an intersection in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma for 9 minutes. And
In the middle of the intersection?
No, he was able to pull off to the side, but nobody was allowed to get off the bus. So these kids did what you would expect. They started texting and calling their parents who were waiting nearby. And the parents came over there and started saying, "Let my kids off this."
Let my people go.
No! Sit down! Sit down! I don't care! Sit down! I don't care if your mom's there. Makes no difference to me. You're not going with your mom.
It's hard to defend this man, but I know what he's talking about. You know, they're all loud. They appeared to be middle schoolers to me, or maybe 5th or 6th grade. They were, you know, not kindergartners. And they were talking back and loud and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, you just can't do it. You know, you just can't.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That's right.
Are buses supposed to be silent? I mean, that's not a rule.
No.
Or you can talk on a bus.
Yes, but I think,
right?
but I'll bet you they were so loud that he was having trouble. And so he just said, "Hey, quiet, be quiet." And they didn't. They would not be quiet.
I'll go on record.
Yeah.
My generation is raising disrespectful ass kids.
I second that. And
They are. I mean,
I agree with
and
that.
it's my generation,
You
frankly.
think they're raising disrespectful kids?
Yeah, I mean, that happened to me. I rode my bus, you know, from basically grade school up till high school, and that happened several times.
Where they'd say, "Be quiet."
They'd pull the bus off to the side for a minute, and they'd say, "Be quiet, we're not going any further." You know what we did?
Quiet.
We shut up.
Quiet
you know
as a
why?
mouse.
There was no one to call.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't call my mom. And if I got home and said the bus driver pulled the bus over because we were being loud, my mom been like, "Sit down and shut up."
Yeah. Yeah. That's sort of the way I felt about it.
Yeah.
You know, but
And I'm not trying to be the, you know,
No, but I agree with you.
the name, but I
You
think
being
there's
kids today guy.
exactly.
I'll do that too.
I know I'm being that right now,
does.
but
I really join you in this.
but there is a level
Yeah.
of, frankly, where it's just flat out. You know, the phones come
disrespect.
out,
It's disrespect.
and the parents shouldn't.
Right.
My mom would have never stormed on a bus,
Right.
and gotten me off because especially if I was one of the ones doing it, I got suspended from the bus for throwing fireworks out a window.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I mean, I got in trouble for that. So I mean, it's
Now,
it
but it's
wasn't-
exactly the way I feel
Yeah.
about it. When I didn't take the bus every day, but I do remember a few times being driven to whatever event, and we were really loud, and they would say, they'd come on and say, "Be quiet, shut up, no more talking for the next 5 minutes," and everybody got really, really quiet.
Yeah, that's what happened. Now it's the phones come out. They call the parents.
Yeah.
And frankly, to me, my generation, we defend the kids too much.
I agree 100%.
You know, the
I agree,
parents,
yeah.
we have the stories in the Demm reports all the time. Parents fighting bus drivers, students fighting, parents showing up to the school to fight teachers.
Right.
It's a level of disrespect at all-time high to me.
Audacity.
Audacity.
It's the audacity.
Yeah, but
And-
we're passing it on to the kids.
Well, I agree with you. The kids are now, you give them too much power, and I think they parents always side with the kids. They used to side with the adults.
When they were stopped, did the parents come on to the bus?
We have a sound clip of that. The parents got there, and now a dad.
They're banging on the door of
They
the
start
bus.
banging on the door of the bus.
It's to turn ugly.
So the bus driver opens the bus side door to tell the parent, "I'm not letting anybody off this bus," and he stops. He puts his hands out to stop kids from getting off, and you can hear the dad trying to get on the bus saying, "Don't you touch my son."
They are not listening. Hey, quit grabbing! Hey, quit grabbing! You better quit grabbing my son!
You better quit grabbing my son. He's putting his hand out to stop the kids. And the father, there, just what Biggie is saying, the father is like, "Don't you dare grab my kid." Instead of, I am with Biggie. I think my mom would have come onto that bus and said to me, "Sit down and shut up." But these days, and he shouldn't have. He stopped it for 9 minutes. That was a pretty long time.
Yeah, but does that include the altercation? Is that part of the 9-minute deal there?
Yeah, the whole thing
See,
was
that's
9
not
minutes.
all on him.
No, it's all 9. Yeah.
And if you said this is after school,
I think it was after school. Yes, I think he was delivering them back to the school.
my hunch is that part of the reason that the kids were agitated and the parents is that,
They're late.
well, they're going to be late for their next activity.
Whatever's
You've got
next.
tennis, you've got dance, you've got
Maybe
tutoring, whatever.
But life happens.
life lesson.
But no, I'm saying it could be late any other time. I understand that they're maybe frustrated on being late back, or getting back late. But I still don't think.
Yeah.
If the bus driver to me was the same as a teacher, they had the authority to tell us what to do. I think that's lost now.
I think parents will fight the teacher now.
Yeah, I think. Oh, absolutely.
When I was a kid, if I got in trouble, now again, I'm being that guy.
I know.
Just like Biggie was.
I
am.
hate being that
I
guy.
do too.
I really, because I fight so much against
Agreed.
that guy. 'Cause
Yes.
I can't stand that person. But I think this is one of those times where it is just,
I agree.
and people are making the deal for the wrong reason is, the bus driver, look what he did.
No, look what the kids did.
Yeah.
The kids were disrespectful. If, when I was a kid, if you messed up in class and the teacher called the parents, the parent always took the teacher's side. Like, what were you doing? Now I think they take the child's side most of the time.
And as the bus driver in this incident, it seems like I'll bet he is obligated. You can't just let kids off a bus and go with people in a car. How do you know it's not someone else? I mean, he's got to deliver them back to the
school.
And they need to stay there. And especially if they're 10.
No, I think they were a little older. I think they were like 13.
Oh, well, then they're even more little a-holes.
That's what I thought. These are little a-holes. I'm glad Biggie said it. I wasn't ready to say it. I'm glad you said it.
Look at, I'm just going to say it too. Look at the thefts, everything going on around the world. A lot of that's kids like teenagers now, like 16, 17 years old.
As we raise them,
doing some of the stuff, and it's just
we treat them like they, as my friend says, poop golden turds, and look what you get when they grow
also
up.
My generation stares at we're passing the staring at the phones and everything else onto the kids.
Of course.
Yeah, so I mean, they were raised by my generation who
preach it.
We look down at the phone half the day, and then we're like, oh, when the hell did a kid get here?
I love this side of you. I just agree with
so
everything.
Old. Look, I feel so old man screaming at the sky.
You're right. It doesn't mean you're not right. People say, "Oh, you're older." It doesn't mean I'm not right. It's just how it is.
I just look at how. I always look at things through how my parents would have handled it. And I had two wonderful parents.
Me too.
My parents would let me experience life, but they weren't, they'd let me screw up, but they'd also, if I was doing something, call me out on it.
They knew I didn't poop golden turds.
Yes. In fact, they thought opposite.
You're trying to make that a thing?
That's my thing.
My parents always assumed I was wrong.
Exactly. Of course. Always.
Yeah.
That's right.
A couple of boomers in here.
All right, Blogger Jen.
We are. It's
I knew it, but I like it.
It's like role reversal.
I like
day.
it.
Give me an old show to quote.
We just did that.
It's like that episode of Leave It to Beaver.